Thoughts on people doing human subjects research without going through an institutional review board. Human subjects research is like any research that like collects data from humans. So technically, like if you're sending out a survey for research purposes and it's collecting data from people taking it, that would be human subjects research. Personally, I don't want to get near anything called research that has not been through an institutional review board. There are things like surveys are often exempt. Like they say like, hey, like there's really no risk to people. Like you can survey people without IRB approval. I would rather get the letter that says I'm exempt than to just like assume that would be the case and do it. But recently I've been learning about a lot of people like who are doing studies, who are like recruiting people for their studies, but they're not going through an IRB. In some cases, they're not actually trained researchers. I don't want to say like just people, like they're people. They might be incredibly knowledgeable people, but they're people who aren't trained in research. They're like self-taught in research, and they're doing research without an IRB. And that makes me nervous. So like part one, I'm curious how other people in the research field feel about this. Like, does it also make you nervous? Like, are you like, when you hear someone being like, oh, like I'm doing a pilot study, I'm doing this research, and they tell you about it and they didn't go through an IRB, are you like? And then like part two, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my God, I've been doing research without an IRB, I'm so, like, am I gonna get in trouble? You're probably not. However, just want to point out like a distinction for people who like have organizations and nonprofits and collect data. Like if you do evaluation, which is collecting data for like your use, like you want to learn, you want to get better, like you can do evaluation. Evaluation is not considered research and it doesn't have to be overseen by an IRB. It becomes research when like you're not doing it just to like learn and grow and get better or like, you know, do an impact report. Like you're doing it because you want to contribute like generalizable knowledge. So it like goes beyond your organization to like generalize to a field, and then it's considered research, and you do need an IRB. But there are so many rogue research projects I'm learning about recently. What's going on? Can other of my research peeps weigh in? Because it's giving me anxiety. Like I'm nervous for all these rogue studies.